All right, so you see that today's homework is 11:1 through 11:4 to finish them. All of them have been assigned. Also, what you'll notice when you go into digits is I have posted the optional review assignment for Chapter 11. So if you're caught up on all your Chapter 11 homeworks and you want to see, am I ready for the mastery, which today's mini mastery does not cover everything for the mastery. It just covers, the problem solving. Just like the mathematical, there's no word problems on the mini mastery. So if you want to see how am I doing in this chapter, am I ready for the mastery, work on the review assignment. I'm not assigning new homework, so if you're bored over the weekend, do some math. It's good for you. It's like vegetables. So what did we have yesterday when we were looking at this problem? We knew a little bit and we were trying to find a little bit. Did we identify what the variable was and what it represented? Jackson?
It's how much each invitation weighs.
No, you're close. That's what we don't know. I agree that we don't know what the weight of the invitation is. But in this situation, this is like the boat problem that we had.
Oh, yeah, the boat problem.
When we had the boat for a first hour and it was more expensive, and then every hour after that was less expensive. If I look at what's important here, I pay 44 cents for the first ounce, but then I pay 17 cents for every additional ounce. Do I know how much the invites weigh? No, but what do I know about the weight? James?
I know what W. I know what W is supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent how many.
No, we know that there's 20 invites.
Oh yeah.
Olivia?
They all weigh the same and they're more than 1 ounce.
They all weigh more than 1 ounce. So if I want to talk about the weight of each invite, W-E-I-G-H-T, the weight is going to be 1 ounce plus something that we don't know. We know it's over 1 ounce, but we don't know by how much. So I'm going to introduce a variable Z, and Z is going to be my extra ounces. Like our H in the boat problem was the extra hours. Z is our extra ounces after the first one. So we know we have 20 identical invites, right? So we know 20 invites, and you guys wrote some of this down yesterday. And the total.
We wrote the expression down. That was needed.
So we now have to say, well, the invites, what do I know about the cost of the invites? Because my total that I know is the total cost. If we knew the total weight, we could solve this a different way, but we don't. So alas, we have to solve with the cost. So I know that this is going to equal 1560, but what should go in these parentheses to represent the cost of the invite? Peyton?
0.17 times your variable plus 0.44.
Yeah, now, we can write this either way around. I like the order that you put it in because your variable term was first. So Peyton said, I know I'm going to have 0.17, the 17 cents for the additional ounces. But not only do I have additional ounces, I have the original ounce, which cost 0.44. Now, most of you would have probably written that the other way around. You would have probably put in the 0.44 plus 0.17 Z. Either way doesn't make a difference. I like how Peyton did it because now my variable term will show up first in my equation, and that just makes it nice. Just makes it nice to work with. So here now, what do we have to do, Seth?
Solve inside the parentheses.
Can we?
Oh, no, I'd like to. Just use the distributive property.
Yes, because now, so Seth's head just went through the whole I like that you said all that, because that was the whole process that he thought. Parentheses comes first in order of operations. Can I solve inside the parentheses? And then he even said out loud, add like terms, but we can't. These aren't like terms, so we can't. So then he figured out, oh, we distribute. So we distribute. Guys, anytime you're multiplying by a multiple of 10, think about it as 10 first, and then stop, Ella. So this is 10 doubled, right? Yeah. So if I multiply this by 10, it would just move the decimal and then double it.
Again.
So what's 17? Like, forget about the decimal for a minute. What's 17 doubled?
34.
34. So this becomes 3. 0.40 because it's money. We need 2 decimal places. My second distribution, again, think about times 10 and then double that. What is it? 880. Once we put the decimal in the right place, that will equal 1560. Now I'm going to capture this to put it up on the screen, and then I am actually going to pull up this to work from so I have some more space. Yes. So we have 3.40z plus 880 equals 1560. Now I want to challenge you, because this is a got it, finish solving this and figure out the total weight of the invites. There is a trap door. Do not fall in. I wish that there really was like a trap door in the classroom.
That'd be awesome. If somebody got in trouble, there's like a you put them in a dungeon. Stand there. No, this should just be bars.
Dungeon and math war.
You should be doing the math right now, not talking.
Sorry. So funny if we got trapdoors. In dungeon.
Question or answer? I'm going with cards. Sorry. Trying to be very fair these days, very democratic. Rye, what would be the first thing that we would do here?
Subtract 8.8 from both sides.
Now mathematically 8.8 is right, but because we're working with money, we like to say 8.80 or something like that. $8.80 or something specific. My left side now just has the variable term. My right side, when I do that subtraction, you have it, Alice?
It's 680.
680. I forgot that I have to borrow. I was about to write a 7. And carry, what do we do then to get the z by itself? We divide by 340 on both sides. Is this 8? I think we had a typo in the last class. I think somebody gave me a wrong value in the last class and I just went with it. I thought it was a little weird. So z now equals 2.
But it's 3.
But that's 2 extra ounces. So the total weight, each invite weighs 3 ounces total, because we know it's 2 extra on top of that first ounce. As Jackson said as I walked by, this is exactly like the boat problem. At the end of the problem, you need to remember there was an original first ounce. And that's what this $8.80, that was to pay for the original 20 ounces. 20 invites each with 1 ounce to start. Then this is 20 invites, each with z extra ounces. Questions on this? Any preguntas? Questions in Spanish?
Miamo Nathan.
Are we supposed to figure out how much each invite costs?
No, just the weight of each invite. So, because if you wanted to find out how much each invite cost, you could just take your total price and divide by 20. Which brings up the other way to solve this. Whoa, don't pout. The other way is easier.
It's math class.
Yeah. So, as Jackson just asked, now wait, couldn't we just solve for the weight of each invite? Yes. If we know the total weight, and guys, we're not, well, we might come back and do the exemplary ones, but if you need to write around there, you can. We know the total weight, WT is an abbreviation for weight, or the total cost is $15.60 for 20 invites. So to figure out the price per, we would just do the unit rate, Shahib. Divide what by what?
Divide 1560 by 20.
Yep, so the unit price will be 1560. My dollar is always on top, divided by my quantity, 20. And that gives me what, Rye?
78 cents.
Each invite costs 78 cents to send. So now I know that's one invite. So I can say, well, one invite will cost the 44 cents plus the 17 cents for how many extra ounces?
By 2.
But I'm going to back up a second. I hope my smarting doesn't move. The reason that we were able to do all this actually, I'm just going to capture and clear. If you go back to our equation that we had originally, it was 20 times 0.44 plus 0.17 z equals 1560. What is the 20 doing to the parentheses? How are they attached, Jackson?
Multiplying.
Mul-
We use the distributed property of multiplying.
We would, or instead of distributing, I could say, I don't want to distribute. It's Friday. I don't feel like it. So, Shahid, what can we do instead? Instead of doing the distribution, say, forget that.
Forget that.
I'll just divide by 20, and then I don't have the multiplication existing anymore.
Whoa!
When I divide by 20, I get exactly what we just had up on the TV. You can see I get the price of one invite and all the math. Now, this is just another way, many right ways to get to Florida. I think this is easier though, because really, I don't love distributing. I have to do two multiplications, one with a variable term, one with a constant term. I gotta pay attention to signs and everything else. There's a lot to remember. Instead, just divide and then you don't have to distribute. Shahid? Yeah. So some of you guys may have already figured this out. When it wants you to distribute, you can instead divide first. Because now, what's my first step towards solving? Sorry, I forgot the Z here. What's my first step in solving, Nate?
You just subtract 0.17. No.
Not the 0.17.
Subtract 0.44
0.44.
from everything.
Remember, Peyton wrote it the other way around so that she would not fall into that trap. So now I found out that the extra ounces cost how much?
34.
And then all I have to do is divide.
It's just 2.
And it's the same thing. I get that Z is equal to 2. And that's my extra ounces.
Easier. That's so much shorter.
Yeah.
And you also get to see
Drop the
what
mic.
the price is.
Already worked.
You get it.
I got rubber.
Because you just multiply 0.78 by 20, and that's.
If you analyze the steps that we did the exact same thing in the solution process. Ignore the distribution, but in the solution process, we divided, subtracted, and divided. The other way around, we distributed, and then subtracted, and then divided. So instead of distributing, we just divided here. Does this make sense? You got multiple options now? So, there's a problem on the mastery, just like that with distribution. And I challenge you to try it in that method.
Wait, the mini master?
I mean, you can use whichever method you really want, but I challenge you to try it that way, just to try something new. Here is your mini mastery. Your goal is to solve for the variable on each side, in each equation. The variable on each side. That would be really annoying. So solve for the variable. Notice you have variables A, B, C, D, E for questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is yours to keep. I'm not collecting it.
I got some grid paper on here.
Is
Mr.
there none
Hudson,
up there?
Can we all
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah, get it. Well, it's right beside.
Can we all leave and then like Seth comes in and nobody's here?
I would have. We didn't have things that we needed to do.
Darn it.
Yes, sir.
We need graph paper.
Like, do we use graph paper?
Wait, do we?
I would rather use scrap paper for stuff like this. Graph paper is really important once we get into the geometry side of things. But when we're just solving equations, honestly, graph paper can complicate your vision.
Oh yeah.
Fresh out the box.
So guys, we are taking a mini mastery. So you should not be talking. You should be solving on your notes. Sorry, I did not say this already. Your notes should be put away because you're trying to see just what you can do on your own. Now, I'm not saying that you won't ever be able to use your notes on a mastery, but this is just a self-checking. This is for you to know how you're doing.
We can use a calculator.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't be able to have it for 6. It's always frustrating.
I had one for a little while. It was pointless.
Yeah.
It got ripped out when I went ziplining one time, and I decided not to keep it anymore.
Oh, see, there was
It-
like
So it was a zip line across like a lake, so it had a rope to it, and I turned as I went. The rope went behind my ear and got caught on the earring. It's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. I was able to like wiggle to the point that it just pulled the back of the earring off. It didn't rip it out of my ear. It just pulled it off. But then the front of it popped out and I lost it. And then it got infected because of the lake and.
Okay.
Story time with Mr. Hudson.
All of my personal injuries.
one time I blew up my leg.
Alright, well, we have almost a half an hour left, so here's what's up. We're going to take
26.
probably 5 to 7 minutes to do this, then we're going to review it all together. If we still have a lot of time left at the end, we will go and take time for you guys to work on your homework. So if you guys have anything else to do, I'll let you guys grab Chromebooks, or we can just mind trap.
Yeah, mine's right.
Well, any homework that you haven't done already, or the review. I put the review up today just as an optional assignment. So we'll work on these. I'm going to peruse your work as you go. Just walk around and see what you're doing. Yeah.
Wait, so this is not new homework, right? It's just like the homework that we did.
Finish 11. You can figure that out, dude. You look at the homework report. No, it's not new. It was assigned yesterday. So you
I didn't get
do-
11-1.
Huh?
I didn't get 11-1.
Yeah.
Did you get?
Did I do that earlier?
You did that before break.
Oh, that's
I posted it and I said if you want to try it, do it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you guys all did.
Yeah, it was like easy.
Because the process of what we're doing, we've been doing, just very simply. Now we're doing it in depth. Ask yourself what's happening to the variable. How do I undo that? Yeah. It's for you to figure out. You need to show your work, man. Stop writing down just answers. This would be a not progressing right now. You have to show your work for me to give you the credit. There's a lot of questions, and now we're switching standardized tests. We're going to air instead of park. But a lot of those standardized tests say in the workspace provided, show how you found your answer. And if you can't, you get no points. If you just write down the answer, you get 0 points. You have to show how you found it. Otherwise, they assume I found it by looking at my neighbors. Got about 3 more minutes probably.
That distributed property trick, I did it. That problem.
Instead of distributing.
That problem.
I didn't make them hard. I just meant to check. Do you know what you're doing?
No, put it up more. Put it up more. Put it up with the dry. It like stands up.
Is it? I broke it.
Told you.
Oh, there it is.
It needs more time.
I'm just really happy.
How did you?
Because my class is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll say that.
I just don't want to go to science.
Well, I like science too.
No, it's really boring. You sit there and you learn.
Science
Oh
is
my
fun.
gosh, what do you think you're doing here?
Science is fun.
Well,
We sit and
this is
learn.
more fun.
Well, I'm glad that you think that.
I
But
like Mr. Cabilo.
Mr. Capilo's nice. It's just the class.
What
It's just
happened
the class.
to
It's just
you?
the
I
class.
like his yes button.
Yeah, I like his. He's like.
well, I haven't really told many jokes, but thanks to Miss Barry, you got me this right. I have. But did you specifically give me this because my bad jokes?
Yes.
So she got me a laugh button
I was doing that this morning.
that I actually have nicknamed my divine button because I think it sounds like divine. That's not divine. That's like
That
just,
sounds like mine.
That sounds just like mine.
That sounds like me.
yeah, it's my divine button. All right. So our first problem here, we have 14A. Oh, Smart Ink, would you turn on, please? All right, give me your attention up here, please. Our first question, we have 14A equals 238. Karen, what would I do first? Or what would I do, period, to solve? Divide by 14 on both sides. And that gives me that A is equal to 17. You got 17 for the first answer. Give yourself a pat on the back. Our second problem was B divided by 7, or B over 7, or if you're real creative, you can think about it as 1/7 B equals 6. Ella, what do I do here?
You multiply 7 on both sides.
Multiply by 7 on both sides. Make sure you say by because it's important when we're doing multiple things. These 7s cancel out. B's by itself, and on my right side I have 42.
Yay. Another pound back.
On number 3,
Can I just do it?
we had 3C minus 4 equals 20. Orchestra. Lily, what do we do first?
You add 4 on both sides.
We add 4 on both sides to combine my constants or undo subtraction or however you remember why we do that. And Shahid, what do we do next?
And then we divide.
Then we divide by 3, and what'd you get for your answer? 8. Whoa. Alright, so now, here's where we get a little bit more challenging. Not much, though.
Not really.
D divided by 3 plus 19 equals 23. Pranav, what'd you do here?
So first I did multiply by 3 for the D over 3, so I can get rid of the 3.
I'm curious if you did the rest of the process right. What'd you get for your answer?
I got 50.
Nope. Here's the problem. If you try to multiply first, you would have to multiply the 19 by 3 also. This is why we do not multiply or divide first. First thing we do is undo addition or subtraction.
Plus that'd be 24.
So instead we would subtract the 19 from both sides.
Yeah, we subtract the 19 from both sides.
And then we would get 4, right? So,
Yeah, d divided by 3 equals 4.
And then we would divide by 3.
It's dividing by 3. So Nate, what do we do?
Oh. Hold on. Divided by 3. Oh, so you just do the inverse operation?
Which is multiplication by 3 or 3 over 1 if you want to say that.
That would equal 12.
And that gives me that d is equal to 12. And number 5, with that new method that we just went over together. Hopefully our orchestra and band friends are watching this video and they found or saw our new method that we talked about. Who did this by the new method? Rye, you did it by the new method. So what was the first thing that you did?
Oh, I didn't do it. But here, I'll do it. Right? So you divide by 9 on both sides. Right?
Yeah, because really, guys, when you're dividing the entire left side by 9, but because the entire thing was multiplied by 9, it does not affect the e plus 6. The 9s just cancel. That's why we can do that, and it doesn't affect anything else. So now it just becomes e plus 6 equals 9. And then what's the only thing left to do? Subtract 6. That's way easier than distributing. And we get e equals 3. Yeah.
You know what I realized?
What's that?
Your class is always second on my schedule.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
time.
Math
No
can
matter
never
what.
move. Math can never move.
My science is always last.
It's so funny.
Same. My science is
All right. Any questions on any of these? All right. So now you have the option. We have. We're in here till 38. So you have what? It's 23 right now. You have 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So if you have any homework left that needs done, I would go and quietly get a Chromebook from Mrs. Goldring's room. I'll check and make sure that's cool. And then we can also mind trap if people are dying to do that.
Oh, baby.
I don't have any of my
Hey, silent as a mouse. Go grab a Chromebook. Seriously, do not talk. They're quietly writing. Go grab a Chromebook. It's yours. I would keep it with your notes for this chapter. Because that's as good as notes.